Temperatures in San Francisco are on the rise, especially at 3rd and King, because the orange and black are red hot. They're playing their best baseball this season and winning each game with a different hero. The NL West leading Giants are just as hot as the weather, and the only way to cool off is with a trip to McCovey Cove. It's game 2 of the series. Giants, Braves next.
We've got a warm night here at AT&T Park. Hey, the Freemans and the Uptons, they're showing up, and so are we for Game 2 of this 3-game series, Giants and Braves. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Very, very fun ball game to do last night with Lincecum, strong pitching, the big fly defense, and that really has been the formula for the Giants. And tonight they're going to face a guy they faced just 10 days ago in Mike Minor, but really the story is Vogelsong because he's been terrific.
Well, he has been terrific, and you go back the last 3 starts, I mean, they've been just beyond quality. In his last outing against Los Angeles, he looked like the same Ryan Vogelsong that we saw in 2012 when the Giants made their World Series run. For the key for Vogelsong is the fastball, and when he's attacking with the fastball, he will set the tone. And we watch him tonight, hoping that the defense has been as good as it has been all year. It's been very, very good, and because of that, the Giants have the best record in the National League.
Hector Sanchez is at first base. Morris back into the outfield, and Buster Posey behind the dish. Should be fun tonight, as was the NLDS in 2010 as the Giants marched on to a World Championship. They had to beat Atlanta. Amy G is going to take a look at that series right after this.
Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Your San Francisco Giants have the best record in the National League and look to add on tonight. They take on the Atlanta Braves for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez, and how about that Tim Lincecum? Quite a performance last night. Best so far this season. Of his 11 strikeouts, skipper Bruce Bochy called it vintage Timmy. There's really no better example of vintage Tim Lincecum than his start against the Braves in the 2010 NLDS. We're going to take you back through pictures this evening. Your National League West champion Giants taking on the wild card winning Braves. Tim Lincecum dominant, racking up 14 punch-outs in Game 1. Braves got even Game 2. Rick Ankiel with a splash home run and extra innings. Then on to Atlanta, where the Giants took Game 3 with a dramatic 2-run rally in the 9th. And who's the boss? Cody Ross led the way to a series-clinching win in Game 4. All iconic images that, of course, every Giants fan remembers. We love to look back at that and how Tim did, and we all love to watch what he did last night. But tonight, all eyes on Ryan Vogelsong. He's taking the hill for your San Francisco Giants. Kruk and Kipe will be back with lineups and first pitch, but it is Say Hey Tuesday, so we're going to check in with Willie Mays Plaza and get an update right after these messages, so stay with us.
Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is kicking off this Saturday with a free concert with Y&T. 79 degrees, winds at 11 miles per hour. The humidity is low, and it is a clear night. So Ryan Vogelsong leads the Giants out of their dugout. The lineup that Vogelsong will be facing will look like this. It'll be Hayward, Upton, and Freddie Freeman. Evan Gattis was not in the lineup last night. He is tonight. He's hitting in the cleanup spot. Then it's Chris Johnson. See his numbers in May. Pretty good. B.J. Upton is hitting 6th. Then it's Simmons. Mike Minor, the pitcher, is hitting 8th. And Tyler Pasternicki is playing second base and hitting 9th.
On the hill tonight for the Giants will be the veteran Ryan Vogelsong, 6'4", 215 pounder. He's 36 years old. And for Vogelsong, in his 8th year at the big league level, this is his 8th start, and he's been throwing great baseball. 1-1 with a 3.93 ERA. In his last outing, he really has put it together. Fastball that has been low 90s, 91, 93-ish, but with great consistency to the corners. He also has a curveball, slider, changeup. He'll cut the ball. Understands sink. I mean, really, just about anything he can do with the ball, he's been able to do out of the stretch and out of the windup. Been pitching very well. Career-wise against the Braves, 2-1 with a 3.81 ERA. Well, let's take a look at that defense that is going to be playing behind Ryan Vogelsong tonight. The Giants outfield from left to right. It'll be Morse, Pagan, and Pence. And good arms on the corner. Crawford, Sandoval, they'll be patrolling the left side of the infield. Hicks and Sanchez on the right side. Buster Posey will be in the squad, putting down the signs. Last night's hero, Tyler Colvin. First at bat here in a Giants uniform. What did he do? He put it in the water in right field.
His reward? He'll watch this one from the dugout.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a left-hander on the hill against the Giants. A left-handed hitting Tyler Colvin gets the night off.
First pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's driven into center field, but not very far for Crawford, and Crawford will make the catch. So this game gets started, and the first out recorded at 7:15.
Time now for our Nissan keys to the game, and for Ryan Vogelsong, it's fastball command. He's had it the last 3 starts. It really has set up good outings, and that will be his key tonight. And keep gloving it. The defense has been spectacular this year. That is their key, and that is our Nissan key for the game tonight.
Here's Upton. Upton hitting at 287, 9 home runs, 19 driven in. Went 0 for 4 last night with a strikeout against Tim Lincecum and the bullpen. And the first pitch is up high. The home plate umpire is Ed Hickox. Barrett, DeMuth, and Culpo will be first to third.
Hickox, more of a low ball umpire. He likes the knee-high strikes.
And a good curveball. So you notice those things. I noticed that he's one of the few umpires that goes with the hockey mask.
That's true. He does have the hockey style mask. You'll also see that he has some width on the outside corner to lefties, more so than what he gives on the outside corner to righties.
1 and 2. So you give all good information.
Yeah, but your stuff is interesting.
I give him like the TMZ stuff. There's the mask. A little different.
Well, if you were an umpire, what kind would you wear?
Not that.
That was a little too
Not
quick.
that. I'd go with the NFL 1 bar. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
The old Fuzzy Thurston look.
Yeah. On deck is Freddie Freeman. Braves are 21 and 16. They're 8 and 8 on the road. Foul back. See that side shot give you an idea that Buster Posey's mask is not that much different than Mr. Hickox.
Same style. They've extended the chin to protect the throat. It kind of makes you look like the alien when they put it on.
Doesn't make you feel better, though.
Yeah, I think it's the best mask for kids because a lot of kids will turn their head when the ball goes in the dirt and it protects the size of their head.
And a full count now to Upton. There's Freeman. The Giants are 25-14. They're 11-5 at home. So this will be a payoff pitch. And Upton pops it up, and that's going to be over the Braves dugout, about 30 rows back. And then one big bounce, another 30 rows back. Oh yeah, they got a certain Hall of Famer, another guy that could get into the Hall of Fame. Maddox and Murphy.
Del Murphy. Hopefully someday will get in.
Got him.
And then really, I mean, that's right out of the middle of the plate. Not like he was pounding corners with that fastball. But that is a confident fastball. Then one of Watkins says, here, hit it. Throws it right through him. And that's our X-Mo. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Very compact motion, hand snapping right out over his stride step. He plants that foot, the hands out front, and it really allows him to go to corner. And that is our X-Mo.
Here's Freddie Freeman. Freeman on the year hitting over 300. He's at 303. 7 home runs, 21 driven in.
He's got good numbers against Vogelsong. Sees him well.
5 for 13. Couple of home runs. This is bounced to Hicks from the outfield grass. And Freeman's retired, and so are the Atlanta Braves. Mike Minor coming out. Angel Pagan coming up. Lineup that'll be facing the lefty Mike Minor goes like this. It'll be Pagan, Pence, and Posey. Now Michael Morris has done well against Minor. You see he's got a home run, a couple of doubles. Sandoval will hit 5th, and it's Sanchez, Hicks, and Crawford. And hitting 9th will be the pitcher Ryan Vogelsong.
On the hill tonight for the Atlanta Braves will be the left-hander Mike Minor, 6'4", 220-pound, 26-year-old. He's a 3-year veteran at the big league level, and he's got off the disabled list, and he's had a couple of rough starts. 0-2 with a 6.97 ERA. Giants saw him in Atlanta, and he pitched better than what his numbers would tell you he did. When he's right, you're going to see a low 90s fastball. He will 2- and 4-seam. He's got a curveball, a slider, and a changeup. A very good curveball. When he gets that thing going, he can be tough. It's a strikeout pitch to both righties and lefties. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Mike Minor. The Braves outfield, from left to right, will be Upton, B.J. Upton, and Hayward, all great arms in the outfield. Simmons and Johnson on the left side of the infield. Pasternicki and Freeman on the right side, and Evan Gattis will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Yeah, well, we had the option to do that tonight, and we chose to do this.
Yeah. Although
maybe ask us again in the 5th.
Pretty good. On a warm night in the Bay Area.
Here's Pagan, who takes a high strike, and it's 0-1.
There's my son Chase and his girlfriend Alex. They have the Giants jerseys on. It's Alex's ship, the Firefly.
There's a pitch wide. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Oh, yeah.
They got it going out there, too. Well, I don't see a barbecue.
Inside. It's all inside.
On the ground to third. Johnson across the diamond in time. And Pagan is retired. Here's Pence. Hunter Pence hitting at 250. I forgot to mention that Pagan last night went 3 for 4. Pence last night took an 0 for 4. 4 hits and 15 at-bats against Minor. And the first pitch is up and in for a ball, 1-0. Buster Posey and then Michael Morris here in the first inning. And a called strike.
And you see the way the Braves set their defense. Slight pull from the second base, shortstop, third baseman.
Yeah, way off the line at first is Freeman. Hayward guarding Triple's alley.
And it's pretty much across the board in every big league city this year. We've seen a lot of extreme defenses. And from what we've seen, the success the Giants have had with them, I don't think you're going to ever see the Giants go away from it. It's working.
So Minor, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hunter Pence. And a full count. Still very early when you start looking at what's going on in the standings, but the Braves are in first place in the National League East. A game and a half up on the Nationals. And that's a shot down the right field line. So Pence is digging for 2, and he hit that ball right where Freeman and maybe other first baseman might be playing, but not that time.
Well, the way he hit that ball, I'm Freddie Freeman. I'm glad I'm not in front of it. That ball was stroked. High fastball above the belt. And just barreling it right down the right field line. That was loud. You're right, Kai. If it's a normal defense, it's a big hang with him. And that's one that beat the defense. So a 2-bagger stand-up style.
And make sure you fix those pants.
Well, he's got his own look, and when you're built like that, you can do anything you want.
Here's Buster Posey. Buster not waiting around. No balls in 1 strike.
We saw Minor do that a lot to the Giants in Atlanta. He'll throw that cut fastball, and he has a very good consistency planting it on the belt on that inside corner. And when he hits that spot, not many here doing much with it.
Comes back. This time misses, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the infield shading Buster Posey to pull the ball, especially the right side of the infield. And this is hit into center field, and it's right at Upton. So Posey's retired. And that'll bring up Morse.
Ballpark during batting practice today was live. When it heats up here in San Francisco, the ball will jump. And you get carried to all fields. which is rare. You don't normally see much carry to right field. But when the weather is hot, it's a different ballpark.
Here's Morris, 6 for 12 against Minor. Pablo Sandoval on deck. And tight, 1 ball and no strikes. Nationals are playing in Arizona tonight, and they've jumped out to a 1-0 lead that game in the 3rd inning. So that's the team behind the Atlanta Braves in the East. High, 2-0. The Marlins are also 2 games back of Atlanta. They've lost 4 straight, however, and they've also lost their best pitcher, Jose Fernandez. 2-0. And a curveball, 2 balls and 1 strike. So Minor's not afraid to pitch backwards. Pence with his lead. And another breaking ball, 2-2.
Backed it up. And pitching backwards, you know, is a lot of guys that don't have blazing fastballs have to do that, meaning throw the breaking ball and the slow stuff in fastball counts and throw fastballs in breaking ball counts. And that curveball is his key. When he's getting it over, he's going to be tough.
Off his fist to Simmons, and that will end the inning. No runs, a double, 1 left after 1, 0-0. No score here at AT&T Park. Let's check out our Geico quote. It comes from Tyler Colvin on his Giants home debut. It's pretty high up there to be part of a winning ball club and get the hits I did right there and help Timmy out. He pitched a great game. I feel pretty good about it, and he should. There's Tyler Colvin on your right.
Certainly a night to remember. Made a lot of friends last night.
Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis on the first pitch rolls it foul. Gattis hitting .257, 8 home runs, 16 RBIs. He did not start last night. As a matter of fact, he didn't get into the game at all. It was Gerald Laird who did the catching. Gattis, the man to replace Brian McCann, if that's possible. We always thought very highly of McCann all those years in a Braves uniform.
Well, it took us a while to get used to playing the Braves without Chipper Jones around, and we feel the same way without Brian McCann. I mean, he was the Braves, especially after Chipper Jones left.
Good curveball, 1-2. Yeah, that whole group. Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz. 2-2 on the high fastball. They were not a whole lot of fun to play. Chris Johnson on deck. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here in the second inning. And he got him.
Well, time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. We're talking about Tyler Colvin. What do you say we take a look at him? A high fastball, backspins it right over the wall, right into the water, and put himself up on the splash hits board immediately. Then later on with 2 men on, this was the big hit. Raked that triple right past Freddie Freeman. It would score 2. He would later to come around to make it a 3-run inning, and that was Tyler Colvin's night.
Chris Johnson's going to break his bat and flare one into right center field for a base hit. So the first hit in this series for Johnson, and that'll bring up B.J. Upton. Upton was the offense for the Braves last night, at least against Tim Lincecum. Upton went 2 for 4. He had a home run. And the pitch is wide, so Ryan Vogelsong, first time out of the stretch. Upton's a guy that will strike out a lot, but he may not look strong, but he is strong.
Very quick bat.
Likes that pitch down and in.
Giants staying away and respect that. They know the hot zone.
1-2.
He does have an uppercut and he does have a hole. If you can pound the hole above the hands, and he has that little lift in his swing, that little uppercut, and that's something that has always plagued him. And it really is what explains the high strikeout totals for him. That just does not stay in the zone long enough. It really is a swing built for the low part of the strike zone.
Johnson with a 1-out single. And a toss to chase Johnson back. He's got 1 steal.
Hector Sanchez, the friendly first baseman, making friends.
Got him.
Paint outside corner at the knees.
All right, let's check in with Amy G.
All right, Dwayne, happy to report Brandon Belt underwent successful thumb surgery this morning. He had a couple of pens placed in his left thumb. Those will come out in about 4 weeks, and then he'll do a rehab assignment. This according to Bruce Bochy. Brandon Belt, using just his right thumb, tweeted, though, this morning, made it out alive. We're all very happy that that happened, and we're thinking of you. He's at home resting. Gentlemen.
All right, Amy. Nice little segment. Nothing going on in the background. Here's
getting photo bombed on TV.
1 ball and no strikes.
Hector Sanchez having fun tonight. This is his first start ever at first base, and he's talking to everybody over there.
Little pop-up that Crawford's going to backpedal and put it away to end the inning. Sandoval's going to lead things off. Nothing.
Bay Area is brought to you by Mendocino Redwood, available exclusively at the Home Depot.
No score as we head to the bottom of the second inning. And for the Giants, it'll be Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval hitting 191. He's got 2 home runs, 8 RBIs. Here he looks at a strike. His numbers, however, against Minor are not very good. How about 0 for 11? One ball and 1 strike. Sandoval in the game last night went 1 for 4.
A lot of Sandoval, though, is when you catch him if he's hot or cold.
Hit to right field, hit pretty well. Hayward drifting back, now on the track in front of the wall. He'll put it away. Well, Saturday the 24th is the Giants' annual Wine Fest at AT&T Park. You can join us in Seals Plaza. California wines, you can get some great taste. And also the Giants and Twins game, which will be at 7:05. Remember, to gain access to the Wine Fest and to receive the special giveaway, the Giants Wine Stopper, you need a special ticket. 415-972-2298. Here's Sanchez. And a swing and a miss by Hector Sanchez.
Good changeup. Minor establishing that he can get over all of his pitches and doing it on the first pitch, which is, I think, the best time to do it.
Brandon Hicks on deck. 1 out here in the second. Tap foul.
Got a changeup. So Minor in a nice rhythm right now. I mean, he's spotting the fastball around. He's getting all of his off-speed stuff over.
Out of play. Minor looks right over the top of his glove as he sets up.
He shook off the changeup. He shook off the fastball away. He shook off the fastball in. So he definitely has an idea what he wants to do here. Hasn't bounced the curveball yet. I think he hit that with. he hit that. That was a one hop. He made contact. That's not a ball. And you got to feel for Gaddis, who goes down to block and gets nothing.
So what's going on here?
Minor, this is just his third start. He had some shoulder tendonitis that he had to deal with out of spring. So again, he goes down, tries to break the ball in the dirt. Lance Barrett, first base umpire, saying no swing.
Hunter Pence, a one-out double in the first, the only hit for the Giants. And he got him.
Changeup. And he had to shake off a couple of fastball suggestions by Gaddis to get the changeup. So basically going after Hector Sanchez with a lot of soft stuff. But here is the circle change payoff pitch. See you later. To 3 changeups in the sequence, and each time he tried to swing, and each time he was off balance on his front foot.
Here's Hicks. Hicks takes down low. Hicks hitting .204, 7 home runs, 15 driven in. Had an RBI single in 3 at bats last night. Here he pops it up, and this could be playable for Freeman. He's drifting over, now drifting back, and he'll put it away, backpedaling to end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Minor. It'll be Minor to lead things off. Coming up. We have a guest, and he's very popular around baseball circles. This is Mr. Ken Burns. And Ken, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our ballpark. Welcome to our booth. And we ordered some special weather for you tonight.
Indeed.
You threw out the first pitch, so a lot going on here.
A lot going on, yeah.
His Vogelsong is pitching to Mike Minor, and the first pitch is high, 1 ball and no strikes. From a standpoint of baseball, have you been here before?
I have, many times. In fact, the first year it opened, Peter McGowan gave me a tour of every inch of this ballpark, which I will never forget. And tonight I spent a half an hour with Willie Mays before the game started.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, my goodness. Had a great time. I'm working on a documentary, among many others, on Jackie Robinson, a standalone documentary to complement our baseball series in 1994 and its update in 2010. And I just wanted to find out what Willie knew about Jackie, and it was wonderful. And we're going to come back and film him.
Well, I think the one thing that we find out, we see Willie obviously all the time, is he hasn't forgotten a whole lot.
I don't think he's forgotten any pitch. I remember Billy Crystal in our baseball series said 25 years after he saw Bobby Shantz strike out Ted Williams, he told him about it, and Ted Williams grimaced and said low and away and stomped away. He still never forgave the umpire for calling the strike.
There's a strike to Mike Minor. It's 2-2. Well, did you walk away fulfilled with Mr. Mays?
Never. You want to come back. You want to talk. I mean, he had a way of stopping time. The great sports writer Roger Angell said on the Diamond, like he was aware of everything and what was going on.
Minor strikes out. And the other thing, too, about Willie, we all know, is he seemed to do it with a little smirk or smile on his face.
Yeah.
We love this shot where Willie's smiling.
I can't believe you're doing this, because I was just talking to him about we put this in our film, and he hit it a country mile. He said, if I hit it over the building, I got to be out. So he hit it over the building.
And it always looks like, when it was all said and done in this era, when he got called up, that's where it looked like he was most comfortable with the kids.
With the kids. Oh, most definitely. And he was, tonight, he was just talking about the way he saw the game, the way he anticipated. And if you think what an outfielder has to do, and there's nobody better than Willie Mays in the outfield, is gauge the pitch, the speed, the velocity, how it's coming off the bat, and then track it down. It's advanced physics that these guys are doing, and he's doing it without a thought. You know, and when he catches off Vic Wertz, which is, of course, the great all-time catch, that basket catch from behind, Bill Rigney told me that Willie does this little thing where he punches his fist into his glove. If you slow down that film, you'll see him doing that. He said, I knew he had it well before he caught it.
Pretty amazing. This is Tyler Pasternack. We're with Ken Burns. His next film, The Roosevelt, that's going to debut in September on PBS. And then, of course, the one that will grab our attention immediately is when you start talking about the Jackie Robinson. And I wonder, how far along are you, or have you started, or what's the process?
We've just opened up our editing room, which means we've done most of the shooting, and we're writing and we're refining the story. It's going to be a 2-part, 4-hour thing, and I think try to take some of the barnacles off Robinson that have been encrusted, because he's the perfect hero. He's sort of a statue that needs to be turned into a real human being.
Right.
So it isn't just the slice of life of his coming up, but from his birth in rural Georgia in Jim Crow America to his death as a civil rights leader, you know, where baseball and the country still hadn't caught up to where he thought it should be.
There's a 2-2 pitch, and that's strike 3 call. Here's some Jackie Robinson footage.
Yep. Look at that. Look at that anxiety. He said that he carried the entire fortunes of his race. But Willie was talking about this. What he brought to baseball, white baseball, was the Negro League style. It wasn't just get a guy on and hit a home run. It was bunt. It was steal a base. It was harass a pitcher from third base and steal home.
And I wonder if that style, as much as the fact that he was African American, bothered a lot of the players, because they weren't used to that type of style.
They weren't. They saw it in the barnstorming time, and they'd play with it, but they were very content once the the new ball era came with Babe Ruth, to let it be a different kind of game. And then all of a sudden, my favorite statistic in baseball is that in the years after Jackie Robinson came, when the National League only had 1 or 2 African Americans, they won the MVP 9 out of 11 years, which tells you what the game was missing.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to win the MVP in the National League and you've only represented on 1 or 2 players a team, soon it's going to be, you know, full. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Kind of dominated this conversation. Sorry, Mike.
I'm enthralled. Keep it going. Are you kidding me?
Well, we're going to ask Ken to stay with us for another half inning. The 1-2 pitch to Hayward. Did he go around? No, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, I can't tell you how much we appreciated watching the footage of the last time he put together a really nice baseball series. It was fantastic.
Well, you know, we did the original 1994, and then we felt compelled in 2010 to come back and look at the the strike era and the steroids era, and fortunately they're in our rearview mirror and we're done with them. So hopefully when we do the 11th inning, it'll be about the Cubs winning the World Series.
Morris is going to have to look out for that mound. If he gets to it, that'll end the inning. We'll come back with Ken Burns. It's 0-0. He threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and he went all the way back to the rubber. And the only, from our part, you just can't bounce it. You did not throw a strike, but as far as we're concerned, very, very forgiving umpire.
Yeah.
And he rang the guy up.
Yeah.
Good job.
Very forgiving. And I promise you, I slipped him nothing. That was high, and inside. Even Randy Johnson doesn't go for that.
It's Crawford hitting .252. No score. Bottom of the third inning, we're with Ken Burns, as Crawford pops this one foul. Mike?
Well, Ken, you live in rural New Hampshire, and I'm wondering, where do you go to get your information? I mean, do you go to the National Archives?
Yep.
Do you get personal contributions of footage? Because your body of work encompasses all of our U.S. history, and I just wanted to know where you got your stuff.
That everywhere. You know, any given film will have literally hundreds and hundreds of archival sources, from the National Archives to some private collector who may have one photograph or may have one document that has meaning. This Roosevelt series that we just completed on Theodore, Franklin, and Eleanor, I think it's the best thing we've done. It'll be out in September, but we collected over 25,000 still photographs. We could only use about 2,500, but we needed to have that more to sort of deal with. It's like a roster on a team. You're going to field 9 guys, but you got to have 25.
So when you go to the National Archives, they know you by first name.
Oh, yeah, I in fact try to pay back. I've been on the board of their foundation.
This is lifted into shallow left field for Upton. 1 out, and that'll bring up Vogelsong. Plus, you have something now. It's called the internet.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. You can stay in New Hampshire, and where I used to have to go to those archives and film them by hand, now we can go and order them and download them and try them out before you commit to them. It's a very cool thing.
Here's Vogelsong. Well, prior to doing your baseball work, were you a fan?
I thought when I started the baseball series, finally I'm going to do a film about something I know about, not something I want to learn about, right? But I've, of course, immediately, because I've loved this game since the very beginning. My favorite player is Willie Mays. I mean, it is the greatest game ever invented.
So you've had a good day today. The fact that you sat with Willie for
oh my goodness. Yep.
Here's the 0-2 to Vogelsong, and he takes high 1-2.
He's mellowed in a way that when he stops and he remembers all those details of every pitch, of every hit, he then begins to talk about baseball almost on a spiritual level, about seeing things in advance. And it's sort of like he's out of time. He's a natural resource.
I mean, we all know that his eyesight isn't very good, and I think that's one of the reasons that he kind of looks at things differently.
Yeah, there's something about him. I don't know how he did it, how he ran those flies down, how he ran those bases. You know that thing, just as he's approaching second, he's looking all around, and he knows he can take third. And he takes third and comes standing in. And the throw's close, but he knows he doesn't have to slide. He already knows in advance it's not going to be as close. And the only person that could have thrown him out was him.
He was telling coaches what to do.
He told us about a defensive cycle that he near pulled off against the Dodgers that we never even knew what a defensive cycle was.
Right. He threw a guy out at first, second, third, and home. Here's the big words, guys. So watch him pound his mitt. Pound it, and then he catches it. He just a little tap. And when I told Willie about that tonight, he said, yeah, that's right.
Pretty special. Here's Pagan. We're with Ken Burns. And as we mentioned earlier, the new film that he has coming out is called The Roosevelts, which is going to be in September on PBS. And then in 2015, Jackie Robinson. How about this one, 2016, Vietnam.
History of the Vietnam War.
We were all touched by Vietnam.
Everybody.
Especially our age.
Yep. I had a high draft number.
And I did too. 2 balls and no strikes.
208.
And the thing is, we think we know about it. We know about the Civil War. We know about World War II, subjects of other films, but we know nothing about Vietnam. And the farther away from it we get, the more we don't know. It just becomes a matter of opinion. And we want to set the record straight. When we say it was a very complicated story, let us tell you something.
Yeah, well, we lost friends.
Yep.
We stayed in school, played baseball. We didn't go. I mean, the real people are the guys that went and the women that went, and of course the ones that never came back.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we don't interview any experts. We only interview the people who fought in the war or were waiting for somebody to come home.
See if Simmons can make this play. He does. And we'll say goodbye to Ken Burns on a very nice play. Good luck, Ken.
It's my pleasure.
Stopping by.
Great to be with you. Thank you so much.
Kenny.
Here it's 0-0.
And as the Giants take on the Minnesota Twins May 23rd through the 25th, and Saturday, May 24th, 7:05 start is Cap Night presented by Dignity Health to the first 20,000 fans, and you will receive a 1970s logo baseball cap. And on Sunday, which is a 1:05 start, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Giants barbecue apron courtesy of Johnsonville. Tickets are still available for the entire Twins weekend series. You want tickets? Go to sfgiants.com/tickets. Full moon tonight.
Here,
looks full to me.
Yeah, it is full. Here's Upton.
Upton with a swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Ken Burns. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is. And I know most of you watching have seen some of his documentaries. And if you have not seen the documentary on baseball, you really have to. It is an incredible history of the game.
This is down the right field line. Pence in foul territory, couldn't hang on. And what happened is Pence was closing in on the side wall down the right field line, and he may have taken a peek.
He's probably mad at himself for not making the play. But wow, that was close. I mean, first base umpire Lance Barrett making the call. He had a pretty good look at it, but that was close to being fair. It's the one thing when you shade over towards the gap in right center, as most teams will do to protect Triples Alley, you give up coverage on the line. He's playing normal right field position. It's probably an easier play, but he had to go a long way.
Is it Hicks or Sanchez? It's Hicks. Here's our McDonald's True Stories on May 13, 2005. Kirk Reeder, otherwise known as Woody, became the winningest left-handed pitcher in San Francisco Giants history, earning his 105th victory for the club, surpassing Mike McCormick's record. Woody allowed 1 run on 6 hits in 7 innings. Giants beat Houston 4-2. And it would be, I'm going to say this in my sad voice, the final win of his Major League Baseball career.
Easy, partner. It's okay.
His last, it was on 29th, 05. Woody.
Well, we miss Woody.
I do too. One and 0 to Freeman, and Freeman fouls it out of play. Royals beat the Rockies tonight 5-1. That game just over. The game being played in Kansas City.
You have to move the fastball around against Freddie Freeman, as you do with most good hitters. If you think you can pitch him one way, think again. He does not have a 2-pitch hole, meaning you can't just keep pounding one spot. He's just too good of a hitter.
Freeman's going to muscle this one into center field.
Another good pitch. I mean, Vogelsong has really been able to get in on the hands of these Braves hitters. I always talk about the fastball being his backbone, and he uses it 54% of the time, and then everything else is just about even. Probably his curveball he throws the most, and there you see 19%. But he'll go with anything, and he'll throw all those pitches in a 3-1 count, 3-2 count, 3-0 count. He's got a lot of confidence in his ability to command his pitches.
Gaddis struck out looking in the second. He drives it into Triples Alley, and nobody's going to get there. Freeman's going to score. Gaddis is going for 3. Hicks is going to eat it, and that's a triple for Evan Gaddis, and it's 1-0 Atlanta.
Well, nice job of going with location there by Evan Gaddis. Fastball, not a hanger either. It's on the outside corner. It's a little bit up, but try and pull this, you roll it over to the shortstop. Here he goes with the location, and as strong as he is, he just drives this thing through the Triples Alley. That's a strong man swinging the bat right there.
So here's Chris Johnson. Giants to play the infield, not all the way in, but close. And it's low and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Gaddis at third, 1 out, a run in. So Vogelsong now will try to keep that runner at third and keep this a 1-run game. Hit out to Pence. Pence is going to catch. Gaddis will stay at third. So as good as a strikeout for Vogelsong. But not out of the woods yet, because here's Upton. That's a disappointing at bat for an RBI guy.
Yeah, that's when you want to go take a bite out of your helmet.
Upton struck out looking in the second. Low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Strikeout has always plagued Upton. Last year 151 times, the year before that 169, 161, 164. And this year he struck out about a third of the time. He's got 45 strikeouts, 146 strikeouts, 129 at bats. And when a player has that kind of reputation, pitchers think that they're going to get a strikeout. But he's dangerous with lots of power.
One and two.
Stay away from his happy zone and you can pitch to him. But if you drop something middle in and down, he will make you pay.
One and two to Upton. I suppose he's setting up away and it's outside. 2 and 2.
Andrelton Simmons on deck.
Foul back. Maybe a little bit too much of the plate for Vogelsong.
He was leaning. He was definitely looking away. And he fouled that thing straight back. And when a hitter does that, he has got you timed.
Vogelsong spent a long time looking into the dugout, the Giants dugout. I don't know if he's looking to Getty or Bruce Bochy for something.
And Vogelsong should get that. Posey called a slider, then he called a fastball away, and Vogelsong wanted to go in. And the reason for that is in the previous pitch, they saw him, Vogelsong saw Upton lean. When a guy's leaning, he's usually susceptible in that inside corner, and he just missed planting it on that inside part of the plate.
Got him. That might be a thank you very much. Braves are on the board. It's 1-0 Atlanta.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, on Sunday, big day. It's a big day here at AT&T Park. It's the Junior Giants Baseball annual glove drive. And each year, the Giants Community Fund teams up with Bank of America to help out over 10,000 kids in the program that do not have gloves. In exchange, bring a glove or donate $10 and you receive a Tim Lincecum no-hitter pin, very cool, or the Giants Patriotic pin, also very cool. And if you can't make it to the game, you can still help. Just go to jrgiants.org and you can make a donation online. So remember, that is this Sunday. Pence takes down low. There will be many, many volunteers here at the ballpark on Sunday to collect your glove or to collect your donation. Swing and a miss. Pence doubled past Freeman, who now is not playing off the line. As if to say, okay, we'll give you that one, but none after that. One and two.
Right above the hands with that fastball. Seen Atlanta pitch Hunter Pence a lot on that side of the plate.
And they're going to call Pence out. Let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, Dwayne and Mike. Hector Sanchez getting his first career start at first base, but it was his work behind the dish that skipper Bruce Bochy was talking about. He said Hector came into spring training in tremendous shape. He's one of his most improved players, and he's become a great receiver and game caller. Gentlemen, he is only 24 years old. Hard to believe. Dwayne?
He's good already. There's no doubt about that. Here's Buster Posey. Buster with Pence at second in the first inning, lined out to center field. Two and 0 on the high fastball. Michael Morris on deck. And a late call strike. It's 2-1.
He's hitting that spot. His fastball command tonight much more crisp than what we saw in Atlanta. He hadn't made many mistakes out of the middle of the plate.
A full count now to Buster Posey. Posey hits one into right center field, but it's Hayward who's going to put it away.
Now, if you think back to Atlanta series, it was Michael Morris against Mike Minor that had a big opposite field home run. And I'm not sure how much of this he got. I mean, obviously enough to put in the stands, but it really was a testimony to just how strong this guy is. So with that swing of the bat, he put Minor in his book.
And after that, Minor never threw anything away.
He learned the hard way.
Morris bounced out to Simmons in the first.
Going right back in again.
Yep. And that pitch is high. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 Atlanta. A breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Out of play, 1 and 2.
He just missed that one. He was not fooled. He had good balance through that swing. Watch the back leg load and the hip start to throw. And I mean, for a big hitter, he's 6'5". I mean, he doesn't get on that front foot very often in the swing.
Up the middle. Simmons will glove it and throw, and that'll end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Minor. 5th inning coming up.
From Bullis Charter School in Los Altos, California. She is one of 5 finalists with a chance to win $20,000 for her school. She's an 8th grade teacher, an English and history teacher, and Ms. Lura is a member of the school's leadership team and coordinates the school's annual food drive, which focuses on raising money and collecting canned goods for the Second Harvest Food Bank. To vote for Ms. Jessica Lura, visit www.csnbayarea.com/all-star-teacher. And please vote. A great candidate. 1 ball here to Andrelton Simmons to start things off for the Braves here in the 5th.
Hit up the middle. Crawford to his left, and he'll throw out his opposite number.
And you're seeing 2 really good shortstops in this series. Andrelton Simmons, who everybody in the East Coast thinks is the best shortstop in the game, and Brandon Crawford, who everybody in the West Coast thinks is the best shortstop in the game. They can play.
It's kind of like 2 really good point guards guarding each other. And it's game on.
Don't think for a second that didn't feel good for Brandon Crawford to shoot down his counterpart.
Minor struck out in the 3rd. Here he takes wide.
2 days in a row where Freddie Gonzalez, the skipper for the Braves, has had his pitcher hit in the 8th spot in the lineup. There's Freddie Gonzalez.
One and two. Pasternicki's on deck. Minor's retired. 7 strikeouts for Ferguson. Pasternicki struck out. He did that in the 3rd inning. Here he rolls it to the backstop. Foul. Okay. See these 4 right here?
Yeah.
Or these 3? And the lady on the left's having. I know in the parking lot they each had 2 brats.
And a piece of pizza.
So they're into the park, and you can get a good healthy salad here. And it looks pretty good.
It looks real good.
One and 1 to Pasternicky. 1 and 2 to Pasternicky. Hayward would hit if Pasternicky reaches. 1-0 Atlanta. Giants have only had 1 base runner in this game, and that was a Pence double in the first. Foul back. Pasternicky had a pitch to hit. How about a burrito?
Lots of options. I mean, lots of options. Good options.
Is that pulled pork?
Still haven't seen a crab sandwich at the Crazy Crab Shack.
8 strikeouts for Vogelsong. Sandoval Sanchez hits coming up. Minor has been outstanding. He's tied 11 in a row since Pence's double in the first. And Sandoval is going to make it 12 in a row. As Freeman is doing the pop-up dance, 1 out. Let's check out our AT&T U-verse rewind. It was all about Tim Lincecum last night. 7 2/3, 2 hits, an earned run, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts. He threw 113 pitches. His longest outing and the most pitches this season. And it's the 36th time he's had a game with 10 strikeouts or more. As Sanchez bluffs a bunt and he takes a strike. Sanchez struck out in the second. Minor really threw him some dookie stuff. Here he fouls it over by the Giants on deck circle, and it's 0-2.
Mike Minor has really located well tonight. I mean, he's had a feel for all of his pitches. The Giants just having a hard time getting balanced swings off him. It's rough when guy's got a feel of all his specialty pitches and he's spotting that fastball like he is in and out.
Well, he's freezing Hector Sanchez.
He keeps shaking off to get a sign. I think Gaddis is running out of fingers. And they're going to talk about it.
Sometimes you just got to go with the verbal sign.
Yeah, right now Gaddis will say, dude, just throw it. I'll catch it. I mean, a catcher has an idea how he wants to have a pitcher throw. A pitcher has an idea about what he wants to throw. And it's going to go on the pitcher's baseball card. So, I mean, he has final veto power. But every once in a while, a catcher's going to come out and say, why do you want to throw that? And if he doesn't have a really good reason, that's when the catcher will veto it. For example, a guy wants to throw a big slow curveball to a big left-handed hitter with a man on first base. First baseman and second baseman are not going to really appreciate that.
2-2.
Not a great pitch from a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed hitter in that regard. So that's a time when a catcher will stop, tell his young pitcher to throw something else.
Hit out into right center field. Hayward is on the move, and Hayward will track it down.
Well, you can see what the Giants are starting to do. They're starting to go the opposite way. I mean, that's concession in itself with the type of game that Minor's throwing at him. They're saying, all right, you got a lot of stuff going for you right now. We have to think the opposite way. Look a fastball away, and you'll pull something that's off speed. Let him speed your bat up. I mean, that's exactly what Hector Sanchez had tried to do.
Here's Hicks. Hicks takes a strike.
And how good has he been with his off-speed stuff to get ahead 0-1? Very good.
Oh, 2.
Throw it in the strike zone. Strike one. Lower it just below the strike zone. Let him wave at it. I mean, that's just great command of the curveball.
One ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Gaddis wanted the fastball up and in. He shook it off to go to the back foot slider. I haven't seen many sliders from him tonight. And then he makes you wait. Guy makes you wait like that, he's usually going to go out of the strike zone and hope you chase.
Got to chase that one. 2-2.
Cut fastball, it bores in on a righty. Well, right now they need to get him in the stretch.
Yep.
They haven't been there since the first inning. Start with little victories.
Got him. 4th strikeout. 6th inning coming up. It remains 1-0. Top of the order for the Braves.
our AT&T fan photo contest this evening. It is Miss Julie Nally. We love seeing these photos come in, you guys, and it's becoming really fun because people are sending so many. Julie's from Fortuna, California. My brothers and I at the Padres game in San Diego. If you've been to a Padres game, you know there are a lot of Giants fans down there, gentlemen.
All right. Good job, Amy. Good looking group. Here's Hayward. Hayward's going to watch a breaking ball, and it's called a strike.
Yeah, Vogelsong, like Minor, using a lot of pitches away from the fastball to get a quick strike one. I mean, these guys are putting on a clinic tonight. You're looking at two really polished control guys going at each other, and they're really throwing darts.
Only 4 hits in the game, 1 for the Giants, 3 for the Braves.
And really, if you look at the hits the Braves have gotten, there have been 2 broken bat dead birds and the 1 triple. And that was an opposite field triple from Evan Gattis, and that really is the difference in the game. Just hasn't been a lot of loud contact by either team tonight. The pitching's been that good.
And a base hit for Hayward. In honor of Metallica Night at the ballpark, an all-new co-branded Metallica Giants-themed clothing line, including T-shirts, hoodies, hats. They've been released through the Giants Dugout stores. And this is exclusively at all 10 Giants Dugout stores. Or purchase this special Metallica cap and T-shirt combo for only $39 plus shipping and handling. Call 1-877-5-GIANTS. Operators are standing by, and if you stop by the Ceremony store, the new manager there is Melissa, and she might show you the secret Giants Dugout store handshake. Popped into right center field for Pagan, and Pagan's going to track it down. Tagging is Hayward, and Hayward's going to make it.
Yeah, that's a good play. And that was far from routine play, as that wind really started to push that ball. It had slice going out to center field anyway, which is going to cause that ball to go away from Pagan as he's going to right center. But then the wind got a hold of it, and it wound up having a little more personality than I think Pagan initially thought he was going to get. And as soon as Hayward saw it, I mean, an outfielder was going to pick that up. He saw it was an easy take of 90 feet, and he puts himself in scoring position. Good play.
So here's Freeman. Freeman singled and scored in the 4th inning. Hicks is playing out into shallow right field. Freeman punched one into center field as he fouls this one down the left field line and out of play.
Got kind of a cricket swing. Very calm lower body, puts himself in great position with his feet. And you really see a lot of knob lead with his swing. And I think he's very difficult to get off his back foot and get him off balance. Plus, he's a good front foot hitter. If you ever do get him to slide, he keeps his hands back so well that he can still beat you.
Oh, 1 to Freeman with Hayward at second. And that's down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gattis to follow. Good pitch, 1 and 2.
That's some paint right there. He's had to make a pitch. I mean, he really has made a great location pitch just about any time with that fastball.
Wide, 2 and 2. Outfield pretty much straight away. Crawford playing Freeman to pull. Hicks in shallow right field. The gap on the infield is between Sandoval and Crawford. They buried that one in on Freeman's hands, and Freeman just got enough to get it out of play. Here's Mike's crab sandwich.
Yeah, those things are ridiculous.
Oh, really?
I mean, everywhere you go in this ballpark, there's something good to eat.
Yeah, those are really unbelievable. I don't believe I would share it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's too expensive to share.
Freeman digs it out. He's going to have a base hit. Pence gets to it. They're going to wave in the runner. Here's the throw home to Posey. And out. No! They're going to say Buster Posey missed him, and I think he did. So Ron Culpa.
And I don't really know how to comment on this. It's really a great deke right here.
No, I don't know.
Now Bruce Bochy's going to have him look at it. He may have grazed him on the back. Just looking at Posey, the way he responded to it, he didn't start arguing when Culpa called him safe. From that angle, he may have made contact, but I'm just not sure. But that's the angle that Culpa saw. I think he missed him.
And this replay review is presented by Xfinity. The reaction by Buster Posey is one of which do you take into consideration if you're the people in New York?
Now, if you watched him swipe the tag and then he stayed with the tag, if he would have, and that was an easy call, a quick call. Now, we don't see many quick calls. Call stands. I think that's the right one.
Well, look, I don't have any problem with quick calls.
No, and for Posey, who really has become one of the best at the tag, I mean, I don't know how he missed him.
Yeah, and he doesn't either. So it's 2-0. Gaddis is the hitter, and Freeman is at second base.
And that's the greatest disappearing act at home plate I've ever seen.
It's really hard for a guy 6'5" to become invisible.
And we just saw it.
So Pence with a perfect throw. Give Freeman an RBI. How do you think Doug DeCenzo's feeling? Third base coach.
Well, he's feeling a lot better.
Feeling like he just broke out of jail.
I mean, he was going to be out by 10 feet. And Hayward winds up making him look pretty good.
In the dirt, it's 1-2.
Well, Hunter Pence could not have made a better throw. Senzo said, I'm going to put the pressure on the defense, and Hunter Pence came up with a pearl.
Two and two. Freeman at second base. Freeman's got 2 hits tonight.
Good pitch. Not that far away from the same curveball that was thrown strike 3 on a 3-2 count to B.J. Upton.
And that's rolled between the legs of Buster Posey. It's 3-2. Gaddis's triple in the 4th inning went into the gap in right center field. And that's high, ball 4. Time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. Your vote counts. Winner will be revealed during Giants postgame live. You can follow the action on the diamond with enhanced Bloomberg stats and more. Giants in-game live on csnbayarea.com. Log on now and vote. Swing and a miss. Foul down the third base line. All right. Ooh. Coaching here. All right. Wrong way. Come on.
She's looking good doing it.
She's got the cowboy boots on.
Yeah.
It's all right. As far as I'm concerned, that's a home run.
Or 2.
All right. More cowboy boots. We got a left-handed hitter. And that's dribbled foul.
A lot going on out there. Oh, here we go. Oh, the cowboy boots would make it. I didn't know that cowboy boots had spikes on.
Those could be Harry Spillman's kids.
Yep. Harry Spillman, a teammate of ours who didn't own anything but cowboy boots, nor did his children.
His kids had played in the sandbox with cowboy boots on in Foster City.
When they were 2 years old.
Johnson takes high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Right now, Ryan Vogelsong's got to dig deep. He's been cruising, hasn't really had a long inning. And it's tough to get a long inning when you've got a lot of pitches under your belt. Right now, he's digging.
Slowly hit. Sandoval shuffles. That's 1. That's all they'll get. And B.J. Upton will hit.
Third baseman, you take everything you can get. Underhanded. And just no time to get off a throw. The ball just wouldn't hit hard enough. Not a bad way to get it over to a second baseman. Much easier to throw underhand than overhand.
Here's Upton. Upton jumps back. 1 ball and no strike.
I think Upton's saying that ball hit me. And it may have caught just a bit of his uniform. It was that close.
Yep, it did. Or either that or the wind blew that uniform a little closer to his body.
See, if he had a boiler, he'd be on base.
The beauty of having a boiler. Up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. And it's 3-0. Boy, Upton took a lot of swing out. And he just punched it right up the middle. And now the hitter will be Simmons.
Little breaking ball outside corner right there at the belt. Looked like a slider. Right back where it came from.
So here's Simmons. This is the 7th hitter to hit for the Braves, as that's blocked by Buster Posey. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, and if you're Ryan Vogelsong, I mean, you've got a pitcher on deck, and there's nobody in the bullpen, so Mike Minor's going to hit. So you do not have to give Simmons anything here. And Simmons knows it. I mean, he knows he has to expand.
And that's a base hit. And here comes the throw to third, and it's not in time. It's 4-0. And here's Minor.
Just too much strike zone on that pitch with a pitcher on deck, and that's one that's going to haunt Vogelsong.
Breaking ball down low, 1 ball and no strikes. 3 runs here in the 6th inning on 4 singles, a walk. Two and 0.
There you see the pitch count. 26 times he's had to throw in this inning, and that's tough on a pitcher when he's already had 5 innings of work when he gets his long inning in that 6th.
Sandoval's got it, and that'll end the inning. Giants have Crawford, a pinch hitter, in Pagan. It's 4-0 Atlanta.
And financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
4-0 Atlanta as we head to the Giants half of the 6th inning. Vogelsong really pitched well today. Just got dinged up in the 6th inning. But the Giants offense right now has to do something against Mike Minor. They've only had 1 hit, and that was a double in the 1st inning. So Crawford will lead it off. Joaquin Arias is on deck. Base runners and get Minor into the stretch. will be part of the formula to come back. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
No, you're right. I mean, first things first, get him in the stretch. Giants have not had a leadoff hitter get on base against Minor yet tonight.
Two and one to Crawford. Pitch wise, or pitch count wise, 72 now for Minor.
He really has shaken off a lot of pitches. I mean, he's basically calling his own game here.
Foul back, 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. And a full count now to Brandon Crawford.
Joaquin Arias on deck. He will pinch hit for Vogelsong. Giants looking for an igniter right here.
And that's skied into center field, but it's in the park to Upton. So here's Arias. Arias hitting for Ryan Vogelsong.
Saw David Huff starting to get heated up for the Giants in their bullpen. He'll pitch the 7th inning.
Arias on the season is 9 for 55.
Arias trying to get off the interstate, hitting 164.
One and two.
I think April and May is really the hardest couple of months of guys who are bench players and not getting a lot of starts. Just at-bats are hard to find. And keeping a strike zone defined in your mind is hard to do. And when you don't get a lot of consistent at-bats, your confidence can erode.
Arias has barely got a piece. Managers try very hard to get guys in a good rhythm that are bench players, and as you said, it is hard to do. Two-two pitch. Arias waves at a pitch in the dirt, so he's retired. There's a good place to go tonight. Very popular. Oh, there's a line there.
Ice cream weather. And it's going to be ice cream weather tomorrow. A full 45 start. It's going to be in the 80s. Bay Area heating up.
Pre-game live will start at noon. For you right at the bottom of the hour. We'll do our first game here at AT&T Park ever in shorts tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, that is not within the Comcast Sportsnet code of ethics.
Nope. If Mr. Griggs is wearing pants, so will we be. One ball and one strike.
Long pants.
Pence will hit if Pagan reaches. 1 and 2.
Good change up and just mixing speeds, mixing location. You really have not been able to guess with him. With all the pitches that he's thrown and the command that he's showing with all of his different pitches. If you're watching it from the side, you really can't eliminate any of his pitches because he's been able to use them all and throw them where he wants them.
Two and two.
Not often that you say you'd like to get that hitter out, the pitcher out of there, starting pitcher out of there, so you can face the Braves bullpen because their bullpen has been so dominant.
Absolutely.
But you're kind of getting the feeling, if you're in that Giants dugout, you wouldn't mind seeing another pitch about right now. That's how good Minor's been.
Three and two. That's a pretty good take right there.
Yeah, that's an inviting pitch. And the way that he's throwing the ball tonight, I mean, he's had no fear to throw to a 3-ball count. And he hasn't had many 3-ball counts.
First base runner since the first inning.
It all started with a walk.
So here's Pence. Hunter Pence doubled in the first, struck out in the fourth. Freeman will hold on Pagan. And the first pitch is high.
And that is understandable. When you go that long without getting into your stretch, you have a tendency to miss a bit high before you can get that release point back. And he had been in a stretch since the first inning.
Hit on the ground up the middle and a base hit. Pagan's going to move over to third. And into second is Pence for the double.
Hit one past Anderson Simmons is not an easy thing to do.
Well, and a double on a ground ball up the middle is tough to do.
They had him play the pull, and he hits away from the defense, and he didn't give Simmons a whole lot of time to get to that ball either. It just stalled it. So Pagan waltzes into third, and Posey has a chance to get the Giants right back in this.
And Buster's hit the ball well tonight. He's lined out to center. He's flied out deep into Triple's alley.
And he's going to see some pitches because you remember Morris took him deep when the Giants faced Minor in Atlanta.
Pitch number 90 to Buster Posey. And a belt-high fastball, and it's 0-1. See what the Giants have done with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. They're the best in the major leagues. 0-1 to Posey. 0-2 to Buster Posey.
Standing in the inside corner, so a first pitch breaking ball, but he goes in on the knees with a fastball that has cut to it. That's going to start his sequence over. Too big a pitch. He wants to come out and talk about it. I mean, we've seen Minor shake 4, 5, or 6 times before he finally got a pitch in a location that he wanted. So with a runner second, you have to go through all the hand signs. I think Harrison says, well, forget this. I'm just going to go out there and find out what he wants to do. See his action in the Braves bullpen with Anthony Navarro.
0-2 to Posey. 1-2.
So a little cut fastball down and in. Staying on that inside corner with hard stuff.
They're going back in, and Posey with a half swing and a miss to end the inning. Through 6 innings, it's the Braves 4 and the Giants nothing. Miner's been terrific. Vogelsong got nicked for 3 runs in the 6th inning. Freddie Freeman's got an RBI. He scored a couple of runs. Hunter Pence with 2 doubles. And the Braves are leading 4-0. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
So welcome back to David Huff. First appearance since coming off the disabled list. He had a leg injury that put him on the shelf. Before he went on the shelf, was throwing good baseball. 1-0 with a 3.86 ERA. David Huff's going to give you a fastball, 2 types of movement: curveball, slider, changeup, and he will throw anything anytime. Everybody hitting 200 off him. Lefties, righties, everybody.
Pasternicki will be the first hitter that Huff will face. This is the 7th. Pasternicki takes a strike. He's struck out twice. Vogelsong had 8 strikeouts, which was tied a career high for him. 0-2 to Huff.
You know, Vogelsong deserved a better fate. I mean, he threw the ball beautifully. And he picked up right where he left off last Friday in Los Angeles. Spotting that fastball well, used all his pitches. Just had some tough luck against him.
Yep. Two and 2. Juan Perez was sent back to Fresno when David Huff was activated before the game last night. This is poked into center field, a base hit. And Pasternicki.
Yeah, I think you described that beautifully because it was poked. Just a protect swing with no lower body in it whatsoever. Location perfect. I mean, that's right down there, knee-high outside corner. And that's a nice job of protecting a strike zone. And Pasternicki gets himself a big league knock.
Here's Hayward. Hayward led off the 6th with a base hit, and that kind of got things going for the Atlanta Braves. Bouncing ball. Sanchez on the bag. The throw is into left field on a bounce. As much Sanchez could do. Where he was at, he had a heck of a chance of hitting the runner in the back.
Yeah, that was going to have to be a lob. he didn't have time to clear and take a step away from the bag. Once he took the option to go to the bag and get the force, Pasternak did his best to get in the way and create a wall. Nothing that Crawford could do. I don't think Crawford really ever saw the ball once it hopped.
Well, Crawford slowed it down. Otherwise, this is into the outfield. And Pasternak is standing on third. So here's Upton. Upton, base hit right field. Pence is going to get to it. And the runner at third is going to be held. So Upton with a base hit. And that'll bring up Freeman. On the ground, Sanchez has got it. That's one. To Huff. Got him. And the Braves are going to take a look at this one, I believe. They're going to say that Huff probably wasn't on the bag.
Terry Pendleton, the first base coach, immediately put up a sign. Let's take a look. Hard for a pitcher to get over. And he never touched it.
Never touched it. So this is going to be another run for the Braves. It's going to make it 5-0. This replay review is presented by Xfinity.
What though? I mean, a pretty nifty play from Hector Sanchez's standpoint. And the flat foot throw back to the bag from Crawford. He knew he didn't have much time. And Huff never got to the base. And that's the difficulty of that play, because as a pitcher, you're on the move. And you have to have a throw where the shortstop or the second baseman leads you perfectly. And in concentrating to catch the ball, I mean, oftentimes you never do locate the bag with your foot.
So that's correctly called. It'll be an RBI for Freeman, and it's 5-0. And the hitter will be Gaddis. Really hard for a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher, to get to the base comfortably.
I always thought it was a little bit easier for a lefty than a righty, because a righty's got to catch the ball on a backhand, whereas a lefty can catch it with a forehand.
No, I was more talking about where he ends up after he releases it.
No, you're right, and that is a good point. The left-hander has got his momentum going towards the third base line. It's not an easy double play.
Strike to Gaddis. Gaddis has been on base twice. And that pitch is high. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Out of play.
And that is a short, compact swing with power.
Easy, Mr. Huff. 3-2.
He thought he had that fastball inside, down and in. Now, Huff, I mean, like all relief pitchers, they're going to watch the game on the monitor a few innings to find out what the strike zone is. And Huff knows that that has been a strike tonight. There has been width on both sides of the plate.
Out of play again. Freeman kind of was on the move. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That is the one advantage that a bullpenner has over starting pitching, is that by the time they get into their ball game, they know what the strike zone is because they've watched it. Mister wants a fastball in, going right back inside.
Three and 2. Freeman will go. Got him. One too many times. Braves out a run. It's 5-0. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Nothing lead for the Atlanta Braves. Dead hanging on to that one. Pena is now at second base. And the hitter will be Michael Morris, who's bounced out to Simmons twice. Big swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Say this about Minor. He hasn't missed his spots too many times tonight.
Oh, he's been fantastic with command. It's what the Braves have been waiting for.
Sandoval and then Sanchez. He's had a couple aboard in the 6th inning, but Buster Posey struck out to end the 6th. This is hit to Simmons again. 1 out. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy.
All right, right, Dwayne, we have a new episode of Hum BB ready for Giants fans at csnbayarea.com. This one is with Brandon Crawford. He talks about how he feels about Buster Posey choosing him to babysit his twins. He also shares thoughts on Ron Wotus being the infield coach and the job that he does. You can check it out, csnbayarea.com. Hum BB, guys.
All right. Here's Sandoval. Well, I guess Amy in the cookie jar didn't go over that big, huh? I
No.
haven't heard anything that maybe we had something going on, but I guess not.
Yep. We got vetoed.
Sandoval lines it foul. The Cookie Monster spot was pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, Amy G interviewed the Cookie Monster, and it was really one of the highlights of our evening. So we thought that she would have a little piece. Amy in the cookie jar.
Yep. Up and into Sandoval, 1-2.
But she looked at that suggestion and she went, I don't think so.
I know one thing. If there's cookies in here, she eats them all.
She is the Cookie Monster.
Oh, man. Cued off the end of the bat. Freeman will go to the bag. And with a collision, they got him.
I don't know about that one.
A lot going on at first.
Roberto Kelly not arguing. Definitely worth a look, and this is going to be reviewed, I'm sure, in the Giants clubhouse. Sean Dunston taking a look. He got him. Nice play. Ball came up, hit him low on the heel, and now you have to wait for it to come down. Kind of a weird play. And once he saw there was no pitcher there, it was going to be all Freeman. And he slides in and just gets his toe in their head.
And you hope you just don't get spiked or kicked by the base runner or by the pitcher. Called strike to Hector Sanchez.
The only thing working against Minor right now is the pitch count. Next pitch will be number 103, which is why there's activity in the Braves bullpen.
Down the right field line, and this is a fair ball. So Hector Sanchez scooting to second, and he's got a double.
Really a beautiful inside-out swing, and that's kind of how you have to beat that breaking ball. Again, quiet lower body, not much of a stride, just sort of curls the heel in on his front foot, and then serves it right out to right field. It's the one thing about this young hitter that has always impressed us is he's not up there trying to hit the ball 700 feet, and he's a finesse hitter. He's got good control of the bat head. Nice at bat.
So Hicks will hit. He's 0 for 2. And Hicks takes a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. And off the end of the bat, foul. So you have to try to recognize that pitch as a changeup, and it's hard to do.
Yeah, you know, I've always thought the best fastball hitters in the lineup were at the bottom of the lineup. You had to mix your pitches with the guys in the heart of the lineup, but once you got down below, I mean, if you could pitch backwards and throw breaking balls in fastball counts, I mean, you could get by. And the good fastball hitters I thought were down there, 6, 7, 8. And that's kind of how Minor has gone after the Giants' bottom of their lineup. I mean, he has softballed them all. Changeups, sliders, a lot of curveballs. When he's throwing the fastball, he hasn't made many mistakes out over the middle. It's been to a corner and on the hands.
And that's foul. Hicks is actually not hit the ball hard past Flannery, but he's kind of getting close to the Flan man.
Yeah, this is where it gets kind of spooky if you're a third base coach. I mean, Flannery's he's up the line trying to get himself an angle that he can direct Hector Sanchez as to what to do, but slow curveball from a guy like Minor to a guy with power like Hicks, yeah, that's a little scary. I do know one thing, one of the greatest rules they've ever put into effect is putting helmets on the base coaches.
Absolutely. So Hicks works it to a full count.
This will be the last hitter that Minor faces.
And here comes Freddie Gonzalez, and he does go to the bullpen. The hitter will be Brandon Crawford. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB TV game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or go to sfgiants.com today.
It's a 5-0 lead for the Braves here in the 7th inning.
New pitcher now for the Braves will be the left-hander Ian Thomas. Big guy, 6'4", 215. He's a rookie. Got a pretty good fastball, low 90s with a big curveball and a good changeup. And see what he has done, 1-on-1 with a 3.86 ERA. Lefty's hitting 250.
So Crawford will face the lefty. Crawford has popped out and flied out. And here he takes a strike at the knees, and it's 0-1.
Most of the fastballs you're going to see from Thomas are going to be four-seamers. And if you're to classify what type of pitcher is, he's a fly ball strikeout guy.
Ooh, got one in, and he fisted it right into the Giants dugout where Bam Bam Mullins makes the play.
First thing he did was look to see if there's any scuffs on it. Hitting coaches.
0-2 to Brandon Crawford. Got him. And that'll end the inning. Giants trying to pair. 8th inning coming up. It remains 5-0 Atlanta.
Braves at Game 3 of this 3-game series. And the pregame starts at noon. You'll see right here in Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. The series will conclude. Pitching matchups will be Madison Bumgarner taking on Julio Teheran. That ought to be a dandy. Complete Giants coverage every night on Sportsnet Central and CSNBayArea.com with Giants insider Andrew Baggerly. The home of your San Francisco Giants is right here, Comcast Sportsnet.
So here's Chris Johnson. He gets the first pitch on the ground to Sandoval. One pitch, one out. Gregor Blanco is now in center field, so Pagano's out of the game. Here's Upton. Upton singled up the middle off of Vogelsong for his only hit. Here he takes a strike. Oh, and 2.
Away hard with a fastball at 88, comes back away with a changeup at 80. So they have pretty much respected the ability of Upton to hit that pitch middle in.
1 and 2 on the high fastball.
Come inside, you come up bad. You do not impress a big league hitter thrown inside until you throw a strike inside. That'll establish in.
Got him.
And that impressed him. Take a look at our Ford right choice. It is the shortstop for the Braves, Andrelton Simmons. And the shortstop, Brandon Crawford, who is pretty good, we think. So it's been a battle of shortstops in this series, highlighted as it was when these two teams squared off in Atlanta. And that's our Ford right choice. We appreciate good glove work.
Simmons hits one to Crawford. Now from deep short. And that'll end the inning. Right on cue. Pitch hitter coming up. It's 5-0 Atlanta. And Mike will also talk about this game with Murph and Mac tomorrow morning on KNBR 680. It's 5-0 Atlanta. Adrianza is going to pinch hit. And a swing and a miss to Adrianza. For our KNBR folks, if you don't know what Lee Hammer looks like, Lee Hammer says no. There's Lee. Lee Jones is on assignment, actually. Lee will be back in a couple of days, but that's Lee Hammer.
And we're not making it up.
There's a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. And anytime Lee Hammer is in that spot, trust me, those two guys on the radio, they miss Lee Jones.
Lee Jones, the best in the business.
Three pitches, and Adrianza takes a hike.
That's a rough at bat right there.
Here's Blanco batting for the first time. It's a really good example of how young players that are bench players, they have a tough time. Because young players that are good players are used to playing all the time. They have in their minor league careers.
And most of their bats come late in the ball game. You're facing a nasty reliever, a guy that you don't know. And I mean, that really is the advantage that a veteran has as a bench player, is that he's been around the league a long time and he knows all the pitchers, so he's not really going to get surprised. But a young pitcher doesn't have that, or a young hitter doesn't have that advantage.
Blanco is going to have a base hit. Nice to see Gregor Blanco get things going as he will challenge Hayward. And Hayward will throw a bit high, but Simmons trying to get Blanco on the overslide, and it's a double for Gregor Blanco.
That's got to feel pretty good. He's been grinding. He has not had a whole lot of luck this year. With a fastball middle in. And remember, this is the organization that he got to the big leagues with, the Braves. So when he does get an at-bat against them, he wants to let him know that he's still around and he can play.
Thomas is going to depart. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. We'll be back. New pitcher.
Anthony Barbaro, the new pitcher for the Braves, 1-0 with a 2.25 ERA. And look at the strikeouts to walk, 8-to-1 ratios, 16 strikeouts, 2 walks in 12 innings. And he's got a good fastball, high 3/4 release. You're going to see low to mid-90s fastball, good hard curveball, and a changeup combination. And he'll use them all.
Hunter Pence has a couple of doubles. And a first pitch breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Blanco at second. Pena keeping an eye on him. Two and 0. The only way the Giants get back in this thing is if they create opportunities by getting some base runners. Buster Posey on deck. Fouls this one out of play.
Oh, the 5-0 lead, a 2-0 count. Barbaro's coming right at you. Hunter Pence has swung the bat well tonight.
'93, 2-2.
Just a little subtle thing. It doesn't look like much from the center field camera, but he threw a 94-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball early in the count. It was pretty straight. And here 2-1, he throws a little two-seamer that had movement running back into him, and it just froze him just a little bit.
Foul, look out.
Heads up, fellas. It's better than 3 cups of coffee right there. And by the way, Bruce, you got to make a play, meat.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Got him.
Good changeup. Strikeout stop. I mean, you don't put those strikeout numbers up there if you don't have 3 good weapons to get guys with, and he's got 3 good ones. Fastball, the changeup, and the curveball. And he has no problem throwing that changeup to lefties or righties. Good pitch.
Low and away. Buster Posey 0 for 3 tonight. Tomorrow it'll be Madison Bumgarner on the hill. Two balls, no strikes. There's Meadow Petit getting loose. Three and 0. Base runners. And the 3-0 pitch is a strike, 3-1. Blanco with his lead at second. And this is foul. Maybe got Buster Posey's bat. Looking at it.
Come on, baby.
And it appears it's okay. It's 3-2.
I expect a little more out of Billy Hayes, who is protecting the catcher down the bullpen.
Well, Billy's an old catcher in a squat. Maybe he can't get out of that.
He may be frozen.
Yep. 3-2.
That's how he sits at the dinner table.
Here's the payoff to Buster Posey. And Buster hits this one into right center field. But Hayward's moving over, and that'll end the inning. Ninth inning, here we come. It's 5-0 Atlanta. Sportsnet Central right after Giants postgame live right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. You're going to get clubhouse reaction to this game The latest on the Warriors coaching search and NBA and NHL playoff highlights. Ahmed Fareed and David Feldman, they'll do the honors. So check it out. 5-0 Atlanta. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Yusmeiro Petit, the new pitcher now for the Giants. 11th time that he's come in. 2-1 with a 5.04 ERA. 24 strikeouts against 7 walks in 25 innings. And Petit, a finesse guy, is going to give you a high 80s fastball with 2 types of movement and good command. The curveball, slider, changeup.
Adrianza's now at second base, and Hicks moves over to first. And Hector Sanchez is going to do the catching. This is Jordan Schaefer at the plate. And Schaefer will hit this one on the ground to Adrianza. 1 pitch, 1 out.
The ball will find you. Coming into the ball game, you're going to get a play.
Yeah. That is a fact. Here's Pena. Pena hitting at 195. He got the start at second base last night. We have not seen Dan Uggla in this series. Pena went 0 for 2. And they're swinging right now, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Yes, they are. You see David Hill, the right-hander. He will pitch the 9th inning.
Oh, 0-1 to Pena, who takes a strike at the knees. Jason Hayward's on deck. And the 0-2 pitch. Way out in front. Pena's gone.
Good off-speed pitch. Got a curveball. Brandon Hicks at first base. I mean, he hadn't have a lot of experience over there. He's played it a little bit in his professional career. Started 1 game at the big league level with the Oakland A's. But hey, ground ball is a ground ball when you're a ground ball guy.
Well, it's a clear case that there's a day game tomorrow. If it's a night game tomorrow, he's not playing first. He gets Buster Posey off the field. Same for Gregor Blanco or Angel Pagan. It gets him off the field. One ball and 1 strike.
He likes that first base side of the rubber. He's way over. And he's got to live on the corners. And for the most part this year, he has. He's done a good job. Swingman, made a couple starts. Talk about how hard it is for bench guys to find at bats. Well, the same thing can be said for a guy who's the long man in the pen.
Yep.
It's hard to maintain good command when you go a long period of time without a start or an appearance.
Not for Matt Cain cutting a sandwich. Petit doesn't get a whole lot of opportunities. The real story would have been if Matt King was cutting the sandwich for Petit.
Yeah, that's right. Cut the crust off the peanut butter sandwich, and that's the way Yusmeiro likes it.
3-2.
And nobody makes it better than Matt King. That would have been a good story.
And that'll do it. Is Hayward out looking? 3 more outs left for the Giants to come back in this one. They trail 5-0.
Time now for our Honda player of the game. We think Mike Minor was worthy of that distinction. He was fantastic tonight. Really mixed his pitches and his locations beautifully and kept the Giants way off balance. And for Minor, just 3 hits allowed, no runs, a couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. He was masterful, and he was our Honda player of the game.
So the Braves with a 5-0 lead. And the new pitcher is the right-hander, David Hale.
10th time that David Hale's come in, and he's having a good start. Just 23 hits allowed in 31 2/3 innings. And you're going to see 2 types of fastball. But for the most part, he's a sinker guy. He will force seam on occasion, but you're going to see a lot of 2-seamers. He's got a slider and a changeup. But when you think about Hale, you just think sinker slider. But he's got a good slider. I mean, 19 strikeouts in 31 innings for a sinker baller. That's good stuff.
Morris is 0 for 3. 3 ground balls to the shortstop Simmons, and here he takes a fastball inside, 1-0.
David Hale out of Princeton University.
And Morris pops this one foul. One ball and 1 strike. Up the middle. Right there is Pena, who throws out Morris.
Almost hit the bag.
And here's Sandoval. Sandoval is flied out, popped out, and bounced out. And Sandoval takes the first pitch in tight. Hector Sanchez is on deck. We are in the bottom of the ninth. The Sandoval has got a base hit into left center field.
He's absolutely coming out of the fun.
I agree.
And he's starting to heat up. That's not a hanger either. That's just a good hard sinker down around the knees with movement running away, and he takes it the opposite way, the way he's supposed to. But watch him stay right between his feet. I mean, that's good balance. I mean, a lot of times in his slide, I mean, he was going out on that front foot. Not there. That was perfect.
Sanchez high into center field. Drifting back is Upton, and Upton's going to make the catch on the track.
Yeah, he hit that ball well. I think Hector Sanchez, when he hit that thing, he thought he might have had a chance to get it out of here.
He might have. You're right. So here's Hicks. Hicks is 0 for 2. And that's on the outside corner to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hicks reaches here. It'll be Brandon Crawford in the dirt, knocked down by Gaddis. 2 balls and 1 strike. Couple of really good pitchers tomorrow in Julio Teheran and Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, that ought to be a well-pitched ball game, no doubt. That was a well-pitched game tonight.
Yep.
It's kind of what you expect when these two teams meet each other. You're going to get good pitching, you're going to get good defense.
Giants 4-0 coming into the game, and in those 4 games, the Braves scored 5 runs total, and they've scored 5 tonight. Ball back, 3-2. Hicks had a pitch to hit.
Gamer Babes are not leaving, folks.
Hanging in there.
They will not leave early. Yep, they've kept the enthusiasm level up.
Runner goes, and that's ball 4. Sandoval going on the 3-2 pitch. And here's Crawford. Second walk in the game for Hicks.
And Roger McDowell going to come out and talk to David Hill. McDowell, the pitching coach. And with a 5-0 lead and 2 outs, I'm not really sure what he's saying.
Well, they're saying because of that walk, we just had to get Kimbrel up. And that has really ticked off the manager.
Yeah, I didn't see Kimbrel go down there. Well, that in itself is a victory for the Giants. Kimbrel, the closer. So McDowell's out there for one reason. Just to stall for time to give Kimbrel a chance to get heated up. So the Giants' goal now, get him in the game.
Crawford is 0 for 3. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1, and he may have been taking all the way.
The reliever starts an inning with a 5-run lead in the 9th inning. He doesn't even like to get the closer up and throwing, let alone in the game. So Hale's highly motivated right now.
A 1 ball and 1 strike.
Giants looking for a couple of bloops and a blast.
One and two.
Oh, nasty right there. That was changeup.
Nasty. You are exactly right.
Same arm action. It just explodes down and away. Same sinking type movement you see on the fastball. Only this one's about 10 miles an hour shorter.
Out of play down the left field line.
A little tardy on the fastball, and that's what that good changeup will do to you.
Hale sets, throws, and this is bounced to the second baseman Pena. And that's the ball game. So for the first time this year, in 5 games, the Atlanta Braves beat the Giants. And really, it was a tough start for Vogelsong. I thought he threw the ball very well.
Oh, he did. I mean, he had a career best. He tied his career best with 8 strikeouts. Just a game that he didn't get a lot of breaks. But you can't take away what Mike Minor did. He was really good tonight for the Braves, and he was the difference.
So the Giants, with only 5 hits in the game, and behind Mike Minor, the final score, the Atlanta Braves 5 and the San Francisco Giants nothing. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews and the wrap is coming up. But first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio.